Why, hello there, my Tanukers, and welcome to a showcase of the Ultrakill demo, something I've had my eye on for quite a while. The only reason I haven't played it until recently is that, usually whenever I play a demo, if I end up enjoying it, it just makes the wait unbearable, because you play this tiny little demo, you have a taste of something you know you're going to like, and then you have to keep on waiting. And sometimes I would rather just wait to experience something until it finally comes out, because I knew I would be enjoying this either way. But there aren't really many games releasing around now, and it was particularly calling my name tonight, so I already played through it once. I played through it once, and I didn't want to record that playthrough because I don't really want to just record myself fumbling around trying to figure out the game and just looking through menus a bunch, right? So I went ahead and played through it, so that way I could record a second playthrough and pretty much just give you my impressions of the game, and like I said, a showcase. I just want to show off this game well, and obviously playing through the game, being absolutely new at it, and just going through menus wouldn't really be a good showcase per se. So I'm going to hit continue, because I've already beaten this, and it appears as if the difficulties in the final game will be divided into easy, normal, and hard, but each one having two different versions: harmless and lenient, and standard and violent, and brutal, and ultra kill must die. And, but here, it only looks like you only have the two normal. And you can select violent, but I played through this demo already on standard, and like I said, I want to actually showcase this game well. So I don't know how much harder violent will be from standard. I'll probably play this later and maybe even upload some stuff from that. But for now, I just want to showcase the game and do what I am immediately familiar with, which is standard. And there's Prelude here, which is comprised of several levels, as you see. But if I go back and go to Act 1, you get to do the first level here. And that's where the demo ended for me. So let's hit Prelude, start here, and hit full intro. Obviously, I don't need the intro, but I'm just going to hit yes here so you guys can see the whole thing. I guess I should have explained what this game is, right? Okay, so it's basically Doom meets Devil May Cry. It's Doom with a style meter, and they give you these tools that really encourage you to show off and just try to do these flashy things. You'll see. But obviously, Doom and DMC, those are both games I am all about, so obviously I'm into this game. And it's not just me saying that. The actual dev is proudly brandishing this game as something similar to Doom and Devil May Cry, so it's definitely not a secret. And the whole thing, just based off this demo here, has very strong direction overall. Recalibration, no. So normally when you start this up, it would sort of let you set up your options here as sort of a calibration, sort of a way to canonize the, makes the whole setup canonical since you're playing as a robot. But I'm just going to hit in here for no. So there's the elevator pitch of the game, basically. Those 3 lines. Very ominous. Like I said, very strong direction overall. So I already tweaked the options to my liking, so I'm just going to sort of give a rundown on the options here real quick, because there are some really interesting things you can do in the options here. So first of all, I have the sensitivity and field of view just a bit higher than what it normally is. I think now sensitivity starts at 50 and field of view starts at 105. So I have those customized right now, but I have the controls change a bit too, just for my setup. But in terms of graphics, there are a lot of interesting settings here. Aesthetic as well. So there are some PCX settings. So you can add some filters on here just to give a certain nostalgic effect, for lack of a better term. So having it completely off is obviously the way to make it as clear and crisp as possible. But let me put it on extreme so you can get a sense of what it does. I'm not going to do 36. That's like actually unplayable. So that's unplayable. That'll be really interesting to see if people actually try to go for challenge runs and play through the whole game like this, basically blind, or nearly blind and you're playing without your glasses or something. So 144, very high. So obviously by putting it on an extreme degree, you can see what kind of effect this gives. And I like having it on a little bit just because it makes it feel it makes the whole thing feel a bit more crunchy. If you get what I mean. Just having it on a little bit just adds some crunch. Makes the whole thing feel a bit more gritty. And then you can add texture warping, which I'm sure you can see the effects of that. A very deliberate effect you're getting out of that. And then, of course, there's some vertex warping. I'm going to put that on heavy so you can see what it does. So obviously, if you're trying to go for a super nostalgic effect here, there's that. And let me put this on the maximum. Modern art. I guess you could call it that. Like I said, it'll be funny to see if people try to go for challenge runs with all these things turned on, where it's barely even visible. But I like how you can change the degrees of these things, and of course, I doubt these crazy ones are even intended to be played with, but it's going to tempt people to do it. So I had this on none. Then I haven't really figured out what color compression is, because I turn it on heavy, even indie art game. I don't really notice any change. So maybe someone else knows what that does and they can tell me, or maybe it's only apparent later on, because I only really mess with these settings in the early part of the game. And then some performance settings, but this game obviously isn't really going to be too demanding on that side, so I didn't tone down anything. I just leave that all on default, and I have downscaling on 480p still. Okay, so let's go. So you have a melee here. And like I said, I have some of these controls changed to what they would be on default, but when you change it, it goes ahead and says, like, the slide on default is control, and so when I first started playing, it said control, but I set it to right click here, and now it's saying right click. So you wouldn't have to worry about that if you changed the controls before moving on. And the reason I did that was just because you can still do things while sliding, and I didn't want to have to be awkwardly holding my finger on control while moving and doing all these other things. But surely, like, anyone that plays PC games would know about, you know, why you would want to change certain things. And so this dash here is very similar to the dash in Doom Eternal. Pretty much the same thing. But there's a very interesting risk-reward trade-off in this game. I know it's a demo. I'm just going to be calling it a game, though, because, you know, obviously the mechanics and just the features are going to be in the main game, even if this may not be entirely representative of the final product. But, as it says, getting covered in blood heals you. And so there's this very interesting risk-reward trade-off in the sense that staying really close to enemies and putting yourself in that kind of danger gives you the reward of being healed if you're able to kill them really close up. But obviously, you have to put yourself in danger, so there's the main risk-reward factor there. And you may have seen in the top right corner, it said destructive, so there is a style meter in this, very similar to Devil May Cry, like I said. Oh yeah, the ground slam. That's another way you can get blood off enemies quickly. You can go into ground slam directly into the slide if you immediately start pressing it. Like that. The freedom of movement in this is pretty insane. In fact, it's actually to such a high degree, it's a bit hard to control sometimes. So the thing about this is that it allows, I can already tell it allows for such a high skill cap. People are going to be able to pull off some crazy stuff in this. So that was the intro segment. Falling through these shafts seem to be the main mode of switching from one level to another. And you can follow him on Twitter. I've been following him on Twitter for quite a while. He posts lots of stuff and updates about the game. But look at this presentation. This is such a cool way to start it off. Oh, I still have my weapons. Okay. So I'm going to try to do my best to talk while playing here. But normally you'd only have the handgun at this point. But you get a shotgun later, and since getting it, I've pretty much just been using the shotgun. There is animation canceling in this, though, so if you just want to maximize DPS, you can swap between weapons real fast and do that. But I haven't really found much of a need for it, because it's not really a matter of shooting as much as possible. Lots of times, it's a matter of precision. And so I've just been sticking with the shotgun most of the time, because it mitigates the need to really aim well. But, so normally here, you get the gun here, the handgun, whose secondary fire does this piercing shot, which will have some utility. It has some utility effects that I'll showcase soon. It'll show you the utility of this soon, but, there's also weapon mods you can get. Normally you wouldn't have this at this point. But here's where it becomes very apparent that they're encouraging you to do some stylish stuff. This secondary fire throws a coin, and if you shoot the coin, it ricochets and it'll hit an enemy's weak spot, or so it says, in which case it's basically a critical hit. So by ricocheting this off, you get more damage, and you will see how that comes in handy very soon. I'm going to particularly use it against one boss. And then the gun actually has secondary fire as well, but I can't switch to it right now. Well, actually, this pump here, it might just be better to show things off in combat, but I just want to get this out of the way first so I don't forget to say anything. This is actually the secondary alt fire, not the default. The default is that the default alt fire for the shotgun is that if you hold it, you get to charge up this, basically you're launching a grenade, and the longer you hold it, the longer it'll go, the farther it'll launch. And you can actually take self-damage from it and sort of rocket jump with it. But this is the secondary alt that you get, in which case you can pump it. The more you pump it, the more damage the next shot will do, but it'll make it less accurate. It sort of reminds me of the Necromancer from Borderlands 2. The Necromancer in Borderlands 2 had something called Anarchy, which she could stack, and the more Anarchy you stacked, the more damage your shotgun would do, but the bigger spread it would have, nor could you prematurely reload. Well, you could prematurely reload, but if you prematurely reloaded, it would eliminate all of your Anarchy stacks. So the best weapon to use with that was to get a shotgun which could only hold one shell, but that's sort of besides the point. Anyways, I only have one negative, I only have one critique about this whole thing, and I'll get to it now since I've already sort of brought it up. I can't actually show you the other alt fire on the shotgun yet, because I took it off. I unequipped it, and the reason I unequipped it was because, see how you can switch between weapons here? Well, I can switch to my handgun, right? And then by hitting E, that's the default, I didn't change it. Hitting E, you can switch between the mods of this weapon. And so, this is the piercing shot, and then this, or not that. So, this is the piercing shot, and then this is the coin ricochet, sort of like a certain character from Mortal Kombat. But, if I have this gun on the secondary fire, or secondary alt fire, secondary mod, I'm just going to call it a mod. I don't remember what the correct terminology is. If I have this on the secondary mod, I switch to the shotgun, and I switch back to the handgun, it will put it back on the default secondary fire and not the mod. So I wish, I've been looking in the options, and I haven't really found a way to do it, but I wish that when you switch back to a weapon, you would switch back to the mod you had equipped. Theoretically, you can just switch back and then swap it immediately, and it won't really be wasting any time. But I just realized I just remember these levels are timed, and so me just sitting here this whole time is going to really mess up my time score at the end, but that's fine. The damage is already done, and I'm just trying to talk about this. So that's the one critique I have. I wish you could, when you swap back to a gun, I wish you could swap back to it with the mod that you last had it on. So if you go to options, and I think it's in general, no, controls, yeah, I think it's in controls. You can make it where, so I'm using mouse wheel to swap weapons. You can make it where instead of scrolling through weapons, you can make it do both. So I have two guns, right? Two guns with two alt fires each, or two mods each, so to speak. So now the mouse wheel will cycle through. Well, I don't have that extra one for the shotgun equipped, right? So 3 things total. So now just using the mouse wheel will swap through everything, which will sort of eliminate the need to press an extra button if you want to swap from the shotgun straight to this. But I still wish you could just have it go straight to the last thing you used, just for the convenience and not requiring you to have to think about something extra, because this game gets very fast-paced. And then you can have it switch to just switch just variations, but then you'd have to assign a different weapon, or assign a different key to swap weapons. So for now, I'm just going to put it back on weapons. Okay, hope they didn't bore you, but I wanted to make that clear before I moved on, because I just want to focus on the gameplay. Oh, wow. Didn't even see that guy. So like I said, I've taken quite a liking to the shotgun. Okay, so here's where you need to do that to get through. How would you have gotten through there if you unequipped that, though? Like, by replaying it. Stomping doesn't break it. So I guess you literally need this to go through it. Like I said, there's some utility to that. And as you can see, not only is it just traversal utility, but you can also weaponize it. By, breaking the floor underneath enemies. Whoops. I have the alt fire pushing in the mouse wheel, and weapon swap is moving the mouse wheel. I might be regretting that later. That might not be optimal, because sometimes when I mean to just push in, I scroll. Oh, here's more glass. Oh. Okay, nice recovery. Like I said, the movement in this is very... Oh, oops. Okay, so if you overcharge it and shoot, you'll actually take self-damage. So I bet speedruns for this are going to be crazy. There are also a lot of secrets in each level. I've only found some of them so far. To be honest, I didn't really spend much time looking for secrets just because I was so engrossed in how fast the gameplay was. Nor do I want to really spend too much time looking for secrets when I just want to sort of get familiar with how the game feels. I can save the secret searching for when the game actually comes out. Oh yeah, look at this. You can also deflect enemy fire. And that's pretty sick. It's obviously a matter of timing to deflect, It's obviously a matter of timing to deflect enemy projectiles. But that's really cool. That's another risk-reward factor. So, obviously, this game is bombarding you with all these risk-reward trade-offs you have to consider at any given time. Which I love, because it really feels like however much time you put in is going to show. So, like, you would really be able to tell the difference between someone that's played this game for a while and someone that hasn't. Is that everyone? No. Just break that to get up early. You can wall jump, by the way. I sort of went over a lot of this stuff in the intro, but since I played it already, I just know. I don't remember if it said it again in the intro, but... So, let me pause it. You can actually wall jump... You can jump off of a wall 3 times, so it is limited. And of course, you've probably already caught on that dashing uses up that stamina resource, you could call it. And ground pounding uses up the same stamina resource as dashing, so that's another thing you have to consider. Oh, I didn't even see that. Just overall, this feels really nice. It's a lot of blood. Checkpoint. I'm not even going to try to deflect the attacks here, because I don't think it's worth the risk. It's really easy to get blood off that guy, because I can just dash into him, shoot him at point blank, and then heal up quite a bit. Even though the whole weapon mod thing, even though, like, swapping back to a weapon, not having the last used weapon mod is my only real critique based off of this demo, I guess I have more of a smaller nitpick, and it's that this enemy in particular, not in this room, but this enemy shows up again later, and when he does show up later, it's sort of hard to pick him out from the background. He blends into the background quite a bit, and sometimes it's sort of hard to see where he is or even notice that he spawned. So I kind of wish there was a bit more color separation with that, but maybe that's the point, you know, maybe it's deliberate that it's sort of hard to see him sometimes. That would be more of a nitpick, though. So this is going to take a really long time, so I'm probably going to get a bad score for the time just because I was talking so long. See? C's get degrees. And of course, just in case you forgot, this is very much a style-based game by pretty much giving you a very detailed report at the end. So you're out of 5 secrets on that level. But like I said, I'm not really searching for secrets right now. I just want this to sort of be streamlined. Oh, and I really appreciate this. It's kind of similar to Dead Space, where all the HUD is part of the environment. You don't actually open up a menu. You don't really open up a menu like this to get things here. You literally just interact with this vending machine like it's part of the environment. So enemies and whatever the heck the cyber grind isn't accessible in the demo, but you can go to weapons, and normally this is where, if this is your first playthrough of the demo, you would be able to buy the marksman ability for the pistol, and as you can see here, you can equip and unequip. That's what I was talking about. So if I go to the shotgun, which you're supposed to get later, and then even more later, you get the pump charge. If I equip both of these, and I go to the shotgun, I just took self-damage, didn't charge it up. I'll charge it up. It's a really cool, that's a really cool reload animation, though. But as you can see, the default secondary fire is basically a grenade launcher, and by charging it, you modulate the distance at which it launches, and then hitting E will put you to the green. In this case, having both of them equipped, the green one is the pump, which I prefer. But now if I switch to the handgun, switch back to the shotgun, it is not on. And I was never really using this enough to merit me having to switch to the shotgun and then quickly swap to this again. So I'd rather just unequip it, just for some ease of life here. So I'm going to unequip that like I had originally. So I really like this whole vending machine system. It's always cool when the HUD is actually part of the environment. But it's still a HUD because it is on a monitor, just not your monitor. It's a monitor within a monitor. So that's pretty cool. Anyways. Also, let me know if you like this kind of content because, like I said, I want to play this on a harder difficulty, on the only other difficulty that's allowed in this demo. And so let me know if you like this and I could do a playthrough like that. Oh. There's someone behind me. I backed up and I felt them. Oh, crud. Okay, nice recovery. And I'm sure you can tell, even though I'm doing okay, this is nowhere near what's going to be optimal. Why is it so dark in here? Oh, I just realized I never showed off the cone flip yet. I guess that's because I haven't really needed to, even though it is flashy, but like I said, there's going to be a boss where I'm going to pretty much exclusively use that. I guess you're just supposed to push enemies in there. And there is a shortcut, or not a shortcut here, a secret here, I mean. And I got it already, so I guess it disappeared? I don't know if the secrets matter if you, get them a second time, because normally it's bright and blue and it gives you a bunch of points, but now that time it was grayed out since I got it already. Checkpoint. Can't go in there yet. Introducing you to environmental hazards before you have to fight in a room with it. Good game design. A little late on the deflect there. So this takes us back to where we were. Partly. So, this thing, I didn't know what this was the first time I got here, but that becomes apparent later. You can get what's basically the key cards from Doom. You can get a blue skull, and then set the blue skull there. And it will open up a door. I never found the blue skull in this place, but later on the demo, there's a blue skull, and you can set it there, and it opens up a blue door. I'm not going to spend too much time dwelling on that, though. Then... a bit disoriented. Have I been here yet? I know this eventually goes... okay, yeah, this is where we were when we got that secret. So now we are back where we were. We couldn't go into there originally, remember? So there must be some kind of blue skull you can get in here somewhere. But I will be able to demonstrate that later in the demo. And there is, you can slide as long as you want, but you can't change the direction. You can't change your slide's direction. Once you start sliding, even if you change the camera, you will stay sliding that direction. The dashes do have iframes. The slide does not. This is the slide, and that's the dash. Obviously, the slide, the camera goes down a bit more. So yeah, the slide doesn't have any iframes, but the dash does. But the slide doesn't require a resource, so that's sort of the reason why you do one over the other. Go here now. For some reason I thought I could duck under that. Can I shoot through this? Oh no, that's the first boss we're going to fight. Sort of a preview. I think this was a big fight room. Not only does the shotgun eliminate the need to aim well, but you can also just point it at a mob and take out multiple enemies at once, which is another reason why I find it so good. It could just be a callback to how good the shotgun is in Doom. Okay, where'd that low tier guy got me. Wow, after all that. I wanted to do a playthrough with no deaths here. So much for that. A little early. Okay, back to this room. I would just wait there where they spawn, but you have to actually go to a certain point in the room to trigger their spawn. Here we go. Got my revenge on that guy. Can't believe one rando of the lowest tier, just the regular Zombo boy, got me. And of course, dying does deduct your score. The amount of times you die as well. See, restarts. So yeah, only 1 of 5 secrets there, so obviously there's a lot more to that. I think at this point in the demo, you actually couldn't get anything else. It was another opportunity to get this for the handgun if you hadn't made enough money. But you get the shotgun at the boss fight, which should be coming up. I love the music. It goes with the gameplay so well. Okay, let's pretend that didn't happen. if you don't directly ground pound on them, you have this radial AoE, which actually pops them up. So even if you don't land on them directly, it will sort of interrupt them, which is why they go flying sometimes. Right. Might as well show off the coin here, so I can start getting used to the timing again. You can see there's a HUD on the gun that shows you the coin recharging. So it actually does have a long recharge time, so you can't just spam it. See, so now I have 2. It's if you have a coin, it's a green dot, and then when it's charging, it's red. You can see. So I don't remember if I said this. So I know I said that ricocheting your shot does more damage, but actually it does even more depending on how many coins you throw out. So for max damage, not that. Well, theoretically, you would throw out 4 coins and then ricochet them, and it would do the most damage. Getting it with 4 is really hard, though, because the first one will probably land before you can throw out the 4th one, so 3 is a lot more plausible than 4, but I have seen some clips where people have done 4, which looks pretty cool, and I don't remember which way I came into the room. So that way? Or this way? Okay, I came in that way. That's where they introduce a new enemy type. Right. Sort of a fun room to jump up. Radial staircase. So, okay, normally you wouldn't be able to go through that, because you would need the, actually, I don't know how I'm going to get through it now, because you need the grenade from the shotgun. So if I had that equipped, I could have gone through there. Forgot about that utility. So I might have soft-locked myself. But normally when you're playing through the demo, you would go there, not be able to go through, and then you have to go to this checkpoint and fight this first boss, which I will demonstrate whether I need to or not, just so you can see what it's like. And if I don't get the weapon mod, if I don't get the explosive weapon mod for this shotgun after this, I might have to restart the level just so I can actually go through there. It's sort of weird. I don't know why they would let you unequip something that's required to progress. But we will see what happens. So I'm actually going to find out at the same time you are. Unless you already know for some reason. So the reason why I like doing this for this boss fight was because you have to pretty much run at all times. So you don't really have time, even though I haven't hit him with it yet, but you don't really have time to face him and attack him. You have to pretty much just run. And so if you throw out the coin, if I can actually hit it, it will attack someone behind you, which is perfect for this. Probably not the fastest way to kill him, but definitely a safe way. And it demonstrates this mechanic I was wanting to show off. If I can get used to the timing on that, there. So yeah, it's pretty cool that you can actually hit people behind you like this. I can't think of another FPS game where you can actually hit somebody behind you as you're running from them with something like that. Like, obviously you can chuck a grenade and then start running, but not with a gun. Ow. Kind of got risky at the end there. Okay, that gave us the, okay, that gave us the, explosive for the shotgun. Nice, so we're not soft lock. It's sort of weird, though, that you can unequip things that are required. So let's go back to where we were. Make sure I'm not too close to it so I don't take self-damage. So this is where, in the first playthrough of the demo, you would be sort of learning the shotgun if we just got it from that boss. That's why it's saying how we... so that now that's why it's saying the use of the shotgun. And I can already foresee that people are going to really abuse the geometry in this game, because you can use these ramps to really make you fly. Okay. So you can go around here, but you could also... Let's hit the checkpoint first. It might be easy to miss that glass, but, I noticed it the first time I went through here, and then you can just go straight over there. So that time I actually needed to use the animation canceling, just because there were so many enemies in front of me. Sometimes these little guys, even though they are the easiest thing ever, it's hard to catch a single one. So the first time I went through this, I shot this ground here and broke the ground, but you actually fall down to the room you were in earlier, and I tried to get back up. I wasn't able to. It probably is possible with a little bit more exploitation, but I just went all the way around back up here, so as far as I could tell, there wasn't really a reason to do that. Actually, but there must be a reason. Like, why else would it be there? So maybe I just missed it. Crud. So obviously in the coin, if the coin goes in the wall, you can't, shoot it. Oh, I just walked into the lingering hitbox there. Sort of threw me off guard because I forgot that this guy was right here. There we go. Ow. Whoops. That was an instance in which pushing in the mouse wheel made me... Oh crud, I don't have the... There we go. Pushing in the mouse wheel made me swap weapons by accident, like I predicted would happen. Come on. Wow. Okay. Didn't want to have to die more than once to the same guy. I can't really think of a faster way to, I guess if I get low on health, I should just walk up and shoot him so I could, sap some health. I can't really think of a faster way to fight this guy without it being really unsafe, though. Now, let's try to use the shotgun here. I've demonstrated the coin enough pretty well, I would say. boy. Might have been a mistake after all. I don't know. I guess not. Like, obviously doing a no damage run, you'd have to play it safe, but honestly, just being able to dash through him, using the shotgun, it's pretty much a melee weapon to get your health back. It makes it where you can tank a lot of damage. So we died twice there? Yeah. And according to the vending machines, it shows that there are going to be at least 2 more weapons. Presumably. And so, I wonder if your ability to rack up style points in this demo is sort of limited because of you not having all the weapons. I wonder what the other ones are going to be. I think he might have actually already said some of it, because like I said, I follow his Twitter. He posts a lot of updates on there. I should probably go back and check to see some of the more recent ones. See, you can see, not in demo, not in demo. I do not remember if I need... And I don't remember if I need this grenade again to get through that explosive. Maybe they just put that in that one level to sort of force you to learn what the grenade was like, and then it doesn't show up again. That might be the case. Let's just do this, and then if we come across one of those things, I'll have to restart, but that's fine. Another one of those faces. So the first time I got here, I didn't even see this guy spawn. So that's what I was alluding to earlier, in not being able to see this guy. So used to not having to aim with the shotgun. Maybe I'm using it as a crutch. But it's a very strong crutch, so I'm going to keep using it. I was wondering if he would be... I was sort of waiting there to see if his projectile would go through those little guys. Kinda got stuck in the geometry there for a moment. So you can definitely break the glass here. I don't think they're going to walk forward, though. Knocked me back. I really prefer these combat rooms with lots of enemies because it really lets you go all out with the movement. Oh boy. Is that all of them? Yeah. End of that level. That one feels pretty short, to be honest. Oh. Rip the triple ass. Obviously, I can't expect much style points, though, just running around using the shotgun over and over. So I'd interrupted for 17 seconds. That wouldn't be very difficult to do if you just find a long straightaway. And I don't even know if that counts as... Because you can keep sliding into a wall. Oh, no, you can't. I thought you could for some reason. So yeah, you just have to find a straightaway, I guess. I don't know why I keep walking up to this vending machine if I have no need for it. So... okay. This is just pretty much a boss level. So you're supposed to go around there to get to the other side, but after doing that on my first playthrough, I just tested to see if you could wall jump across, and you definitely can. So, like, that whole thing is not even necessary. It's not even that hard to get across. As you can see, that wasn't even done very optimally, but it was still possible. Okay, so... abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Very pertinent reference, I'd say, for a game like this. And look at this. One of those statues we've been passing by this whole time carrying an orb just came to life and is now a boss. If that's not a callback to Super Metroid, it's coincidentally very reminiscent of it, and either way, I really appreciate this, just being a huge Metroid fan. Pretty much does the same exact thing here, so this is a pretty cool idea. I've sort of found this boss really easy, though. I beat this boss on my first try in the demo, because even though they do a significant amount of damage, you can just heal right back up by just walking up to him and shooting, and they don't really attack frequently enough to make it a problem. So the stomp you have to jump over. And then the other one's going to come to life in a moment here. Well, let's just keep focusing on the guy that's already weaker. Oh, I didn't jump. See, I didn't jump early enough that time. Oh, crud. That'd be lame if I beat this first try on my first run, and then I die on my second run when I'm supposed to be showing off the game. Are you kidding me? Okay. I was trying to get the, I was trying to sap the health from him, but I missed my shot. So I'm not really too averse to taking damage here. He pretty much just does a charge, which you can sidestep easily, throws the ball, which you can jump to avoid pretty easily, or just if he stomps the ground with a big telegraph, you can just jump over it. His tackle is probably the hardest thing to dodge. Jump early enough. I keep forgetting there's no double jump because it feels so much like Doom Eternal. I automatically think that I have a double jump like in Doom Eternal. And so then I'm kind of surprised when I don't have the double jump. I'm like, where's my double jump? Wrong game, stupid. I'm surprised they give these bosses blood. It seems a bit abusable, like with what I'm doing here. I'm just tanking everything. So I don't know if that's really intentional. Oh yeah, this guy that's left standing gets sort of supercharged. Ow. Where'd he go? Ow. There we go. That was kind of close. Dang. So you might actually want to get them both kind of low. You might actually want to get them both kind of low and then finish the first one off, so that way when the second guy gets superpowered, you don't have to deal with him very long. Contrary to what you might expect, in which you would want to sort of just kill one as quickly as possible, so then you only have to deal with one. You'd have to sort of think about that. I don't know what would be optimal. Obviously, I haven't spent enough time here to really test it. So at this point, the demo takes quite a significant turn in the scenery, which you will see very shortly. challenge here is to not inflict fatal damage to any enemy. I have no idea how you would do that, because these rooms are locked until you kill the enemies. So maybe you'd have to kill every enemy with environmental damage. You know, indirect damage might not count as inflicting fatal damage, but I don't know how you get past the boss room. So there must be some sort of weird thing to that. And just checking, just in case. Yeah, still nothing new. Limbo. So as you can see, very big change of scenery here. I very, very much am into this whole artificial paradise sort of feeling this evokes, whether it's intentional or not. And you can see, you know, there's a big skybox, which is very cubic. But if you look closely, you can see that you're actually in a box room with corners, and that these walls are just sort of... If you walk close, you can see it sort of distort and hear a hologram noise. So it's like you're in this sort of artificially created paradise, which is really creepy and very reminiscent of a lot of these weird folk tales and myths that were sort of created around a lot of early PC games that I'm always sort of interested in. I usually find that very intriguing. Like, very Serial Experiments Lane type thing. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine, but I just very much appreciate this whole thing. Another thinker statue. This one doesn't want to kill us. I doubt they'd pull that trick again. Because the reason why that trick, when the statue comes alive in Super Metroid, the reason why that's such a big deal is because those Chozo statues in Super Metroid, you find them in rooms which you come to associate with relaxation, as in, you know, the rooms with the Chozo statues are sort of like the break rooms in the game, sort of where you can lower your guard and not be so tense. And so, once they condition you into feeling that way around the Chozo statues, having one come alive and attack you is just so unnerving and makes you just on edge the whole rest of the game, because you realize that you can't really get used to anything being safe and how the game will just mess with you that way. Super Metroid is honestly one of the psychologically most difficult games for me to play, just because of, it takes some mental preparation for me to get into a game like that. Anyway, so we can go over here. And I've already played this already, so I know what's over here. These aren't doors, by the way. I thought they were doors at first, but they don't seem to be doors. But over here, you get the keycard equivalent I was mentioning. So we get a red skull, a red scowl, a bloody scowl. Use the melee to pick it up. It's kind of interesting that you hold it in your hand, so you're reminded at all. You're constantly reminded, not really reminded, you're just holding the reminder and looking at it. You're holding and looking at the reminder the entire time, so you don't really have to pause and see, oh, what kind of key card do I have? No, you're literally staring at it the whole time, and you can still melee and everything, but it's just a visual indicator on screen of what key card you're carrying. So that's another instance in which the HUD is in-game and not something you have to pause to look at. So I think that's really cool. And so here's a blue podium? Stand? Say stand. Blue stand, which will open the blue door if we put a blue skull here. A blue scowl. Scowling ton bones. I should have put a spook warning on here that there's going to be a scowl. So sorry to anyone I just gave a heart attack to. So let's go over here. And look at this, you obviously can't see what's behind the door, but then you go in it. So this whole effect, I love everything about this. So, you put this here to open that up. I actually don't remember what's past here. Okay, hold on, what's over here then? Because I thought that was on this side. Oh, okay. So there was a secret at the top here. It kind of took me a minute to get up there, just because I'm not so acquainted with the physics and the movement in this yet that I can just do it at will, because you move quite a bit. Hey, got on the tree. Right, okay, on here. And like I said, you can't double jump, so you have to actually, you have to actually move into a surface and then wall jump to sort of gain vertical ascension. There we go. So yeah, I already got that obviously because it would have been glowing blue had I not. I just wanted to show you that you can in fact get up there. I could just turn off all the lights in my room and just stay in an area like this, just taking it all in. So I think this is where it introduces us to some new enemies, these things. So they explode, that's their sort of gimmick. Sometimes though, when I hit them enough, they start flying at me, and they try to like do a suicide bomb type thing. Not really sure how you just get them to explode instantaneously. Maybe it's dependent upon the amount of damage you do. Let's see. Yeah, so that time it goes flying at you. So I guess if you do enough, if you breach a certain damage threshold, they might just instantaneously explode. That might be the trick. There's a blue door up there. That'll be a shortcut once we get the blue skull coming up. Oh, nice. Did I get them all? Yep. Yeah, see, look, even the blood splats on the wall. On this holographic wall. I think you can actually... Speaking of the options, like, you might have seen this when I opened up the options before, but I didn't explicitly mention it. Graphics. You can change the amount of... you can change the bloodstain chance. So I'm assuming that if you increase it, you'll just naturally be having more blood spatters everywhere. It's already kind of extreme, just on 50% though, so... I don't really know why you want to... maybe it'd be funny to turn it at 100 and just have the entire room red by the end of it, but I think it's already extreme enough that it gets the point across. And then you can change the max score per room. I think those are the giblets. Giblets or giblets? Soft G or hard G? I think that'll change the amount of body parts left in the room, which I guess would be more of a matter of performance. But like I said, this game already, you know, isn't really that taxing on a computer. And I'm playing this on a laptop, and it's not really getting warm or anything. It's obviously more style over actual graphical fidelity. I keep forgetting I've already pumped that, and then I do it once, and then it overcharges it. This whole super pixely stained glass looks really cool, too. It's just, it's such art. Such a statement. I've yet to deflect a projectile from those guys. Maybe I should get used to it. There we go. Hey, we got the Ultrakill. I didn't get a triple S before. I didn't know that's what it was. Definitely not smoky sex and style. But definitely something else that starts with an S. Maybe I did get a triple S before. I just never noticed it. Okay, here's the blue skull. I keep pressing E, because normally, like, E is an interact button. I keep forgetting it's melee here. So this takes us back to the waterfall where we were, the one I was mentioning. Nothing past the waterfall. Oh, never mind! Classic! Oh, crud. I think they put enemies in a room that's already been cleared. Cool. Red soul orbs give 200 health. Overheal cannot be regained. Oh, it overheals you. Okay, nice. So you can't... it overheals you, but you can't recharge the overheal, so you want to keep hold of it. That's cool. That's new. I didn't get that. But obviously, you're always supposed to check behind the waterfall, so shame on my past self for not doing that before. But I guess now we both got to see it for the first time together. Isn't that sweet? Oh, that's a lot of zomboys. I almost walked back into that. Trying to get up there. I wanted to land directly on him. Okay, that guy is eluding me way too well. And unnecessarily. Is that it? Okay, I knew there'd be another one. Smack him with the skull. Oh dang, also with my overheal. Is that a speaker? Could break it. Okay, I'm a bit disoriented. This is back to the main room, right? Okay, yeah, now I'm not disoriented. Oh, you can't duck under it. That is interesting. Let's put this here. And voila. Why did I do that? Thought I got you. I keep forgetting that dashing gives you iframes too. I need to abuse that a bit more. I think the end's coming up too, so let's finish it with one of those. That is definitely not the last room. I remember this one. Those boys are tanky. Their projectiles look different, so I have to get used to each enemy's projectiles before I can start getting the timing. Oh, not you. I'm really scared of that one attack that he charges up quite a bit, because it does a lot of damage and you actually have to dash to get away from it. It's a pretty big AoE. So I think this is the last combat room, so I'm just going to take in the environment a bit more before we move on. Do I really have the filter on 480? Maybe I just got used to it, because it doesn't seem as extreme anymore. Yeah, it is on 480. Let's put it on 360. I got so used to 480, now it looks normal. Huh, 360 seems kind of normal at this point, too. When I first saw this, I thought I'd be able to break this. What? I thought I tried that already. Okay, let's see what's up there. I thought for sure I tried that already. And then, it didn't work, or so I thought, so I didn't think anything more about it. So when that giant head guy was spawned in, it would have been a lot easier to go up there because you can actually jump on top of him. So I might not be able to get up there anymore, but I'm going to try it for a bit. Dang, I think you really might need to keep the other guy. Okay, I could probably load the checkpoint. Let's try this. Should we do this room again? It's fine. I think that was the end anyway, so we get more gameplay this way. Oh yeah, wind up. Okay, back in this room. We have to keep the big head guy alive. Let's go ahead and break this at the start so we don't have to worry about it mid-combat. Let's do both just in case we aren't able to go... just in case we don't have the luxury of picking one side or the other if it gets hectic. Okay, let's do this again. Oh, crud. I forgot. They don't aim at you immediately. They sort of, aim in a horizontal spread. Man, these enemies are annoying. Okay. Let's, okay, I'm on top. Got it. Is there nothing up here? Oh, hold on. This will do something later. I'll take your word for it. So I guess this is a secret that they're... I guess this is a secret that they're not going to actually involve until the full game. Is that big head guy still down there? Yes, he is. I did not want to fall. I wanted to shoot him. I just wanted to sort of peek. Didn't even hit him. Okay. Well, that's where we came from. And then what's this? Another boss that looks crazy. That's the end of the demo, unfortunately. So like I said, the guy that's making this, he posts pretty frequently on Twitter. I haven't checked the Discord, but I'd imagine the Discord is equally as active. But I've been following him on Twitter for a while, so I thought it was about time that I actually play the demo before the game finally comes out. Complete the level in under 10. Complete the level in under 10 seconds. I have no idea how that's possible, unless there's some sort of out of bounds exploit that's intentional. I have no idea. Maybe these are just placeholder challenges. Who knows? Because that's crazy. So, as you can see, they advertise the Twitter, the Discord, and the YouTube here. And wishlisting the game, whether, you know, whether you want to remind yourself of it or not. You know, because obviously you can just buy the game without putting it on your wish list first. But lots of times why devs or publishers... The reason why devs and publishers ask people to wish list the game is because wish listing games on Steam actually do help the game's metrics. As in, wish listing games actually does, by proxy, actually wind up showing it to... It makes it where the game gets shown to more people, is what I'm trying to say. Because I don't know the specifics, I just know it helps the metrics, and it makes it where, you know, if a game's getting wishlisted a bunch, Steam identifies it as a game that's probably going to sell really well, so they start advertising it more, and so on. That's pretty much the principle behind it. So whenever there's a dev or a publisher of a game you want to support and they ask you to wishlist it, that's why. So, you know, you might want to consider that next time you hear something like that. So you can go back to the menu. And then if you hit continue, it'll take me back to where I was. We've come full circle. Obviously, easy and hard difficulties are still not unlocked because that's probably saved for the main game. But I'm actually very tempted to try violent difficulty here, so I'm probably going to do that to get a taste for it. And let me know how you guys liked this video, because I'm really digging this game and it's pretty much an auto buy for me. If the rest of the game is like this, and in fact, I'm actually going to, maybe it's been brought up already, but I'm actually going to bring to his attention that one critique I had about switching to a gun and it not saving the last mod you were using. If he fixes that, and if the rest of the game is like this, this is pretty much a 10 out of 10 for me. But obviously, whether he fixes that or not, this is pretty much an auto buy. And so I'd like to make more content for this game. And in the meantime, even though the game isn't out, I can still do a violent playthrough here or something like that. Maybe try to get S ranks on something, like all S ranks, something like that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know if you're going to pick up the game. Like, did you already know about the game, or was this your first exposure to it? And either way, if you're planning on getting the game or not, or, you know, whatever your thoughts are about the game. So yeah. I will see you Tanukers later, and bye for now.